Eternity Phillips, November 6, 2023. Hashtag self-love selfie. I was told I was beautiful today. I needed that reminder. For those who have missed my last few posts, I recently came out about an abusive relationship where I was sexually exploited by the bishop's wife of my childhood church. It's been a heavy time. I'm dealing with so many new, confusing, and conflicting emotions. Feeling guilty for having outed my abuser. Feeling foolish for having taken so long to tell. Feeling stupid for not realizing it was abusive for over 20 years. Feeling disappointed at the lack of accountability for her wrongdoings. Feeling anger that she is leading a congregation as a liar and a false prophet. Feeling rage that she'll probably continue to be a church leader to folks who either don't know of her transgressions or simply don't care. Feeling worried that she may have done the same thing to other vulnerable women that she did to me as a teen. But as I write this, I see how I'm still focusing on my emotions on her when I need to focus on myself. It's a hard thing to do, knowing that your abuser is out there living life all willy-nilly, while I seesaw back and forth between feeling peace and feeling pissed. I'm trying to remember to lean on spirit and trust that her consequences will come sooner than later. In the meantime, I'll keep working on taking care of me. I'll keep trying to remember that I am beautiful. Hashtag the true confessions of a teenage mistress. Hashtag journey with eternity. Hashtag me too. Pictured is Eternity Phillips, a black queer non-binary being, looking into the camera, leaning on their hand, their silver bangles showing on their wrist, their Ankh silver necklace hanging around their neck, wearing a gray tank with a nice little smile, black and silver locks. Eternity Phillips, November 8, 2023. Telling my story of sexual abuse has created a new energy. It's a feeling of being exposed and open in a way that can't be undone. I feel gazed upon by invisible eyes. It's a weird feeling. Eternity Phillips, November 13, 2023. Hashtag soul sharing. Hashtag therapy. I had my first therapy session today to delve into my abusive relationship with the first lady of my childhood church. I will always name the abuse when I speak of anything regarding it, especially when it comes to this healing journey. Even though I'm getting used to talking about this openly, it was still incredibly emotional to recount. Stockholm Syndrome was mentioned, which adds another layer to all this. It wasn't a formal diagnosis, but it was pertinent based on some of what I shared, mainly about still dealing with a deep attachment to my abuser. The therapist said this happens a lot. I still feel like a dummy for being attached in any way, but it's okay. She said we have a lot of work to do, but that I'm in a good place for being able to reflect on my thoughts and process them. So points for that. I was given some journal reflections, which I am sharing for those who are following me along this journey for their own healing. Number 1, what holds my connection to the relationship? Number 2, what are my recurring thoughts? Number 3, what do I feel it will take to be able to move on? The last question is the hardest. I look forward to discovering my answer. Hashtag the true confessions of a teenage mistress. Eternity Phillips, November 16, 2023. An uncomfortable and unfortunate truth is that some people are okay with child abuse as long as it isn't their child. Hashtag the true confessions of a teenage mistress. Eternity Phillips, November 25, 2023. Many followers spend the holidays with families where their abuser may be present, and many families prefer to sweep transgressions under the rug than deal with them head on. Perhaps this year, choose to end generational curses and release family secrets by no longer protecting and enabling abusive family members. Begin the new year by beginning the healing process. Happy holidays. Hashtag the true confessions of a teenage mistress. Followed by a black and white meme. 'Tis the season to hold abusers accountable. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Eternity Phillips, November 29, 2023. The moment when I realized my abuser took away all of my firsts. My first kiss, my first time, my first love. Hashtag the true confessions of a teenage mistress. Eternity Phillips, December 20th, 2023. All of my adult relationships have been shaped by my first one with the bishop's wife when I was 18. This means I've been basing my definition of love and romance on a relationship where I was abused and exploited. Today is a therapy day. Hashtag the true confessions of a teenage mistress. Eternity Phillips, January 3rd, 2024. The moment when I realized that Bishop might have known too. Hashtag the true confessions of a teenage mistress.